There are four main types of sentences in English: declarative, imperative, interrogative, and exclamatory. 1. Declarative sentences make a statement and end with a period. 1. Example, the sky is blue. 2. Imperative sentences give a command or make a request and end with a period. 2. Example, please close the door. 3. Interrogative sentences ask a question and end with a question mark. 3. Example, what is your name? 1. Exclamatory sentences express strong emotion and end with an exclamation mark. Example, wow. That was amazing. In addition to the four main types of sentences, there are also several subtypes of sentences that can be used to convey different meanings or emphasis. 1. Simple sentences contain a single independent clause and express a complete thought. Example, I walked to the store. 2. Compound sentences contain two or more independent clauses joined by a conjunction. 1. Example, I walked to the store, but it was closed. 3. 2. Complex sentences contain an independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. 3. Example, although it was raining, I walked to the store. 4. Compound complex sentences contain multiple independent clauses and one or more dependent clauses. 4. Example, I walked to the store, but it was closed, so I decided to go to the movies instead. Another types of sentence is a declarative sentence can be also negative. In that case it will start with not. Example, the sky is not blue. B. Interrogative sentence can also be negative. 5. Example, isn't the sky blue? C. Imperative can also be negative. Example, don't close the door. These different types and subtypes of sentences can be used to add variety and emphasis to your writing, and to convey complex ideas more effectively. Another subtype of sentence is the elliptical sentence, which omits one or more words that can be inferred from context. Example, went to the store instead of I went to the store. Additionally, there are a few other types of sentences that are less common, but can be used in specific situations. Optative sentences express a wish or hope. Example, may you have a long and happy life. Dubitative sentences express doubt or uncertainty. Example, I wonder if it will rain today. Conditional sentences express a hypothetical situation and its possible outcome. Example, if it rains, I will stay inside. Hortatory sentences express encouragement or exhortation. Example, let's go for a walk. Deliberative sentences express a question about future action. Example, shall we go for a walk? It's worth noting that some of these subtypes can overlap with the main types of sentences, and the classification of a sentence can depend on the context in which it is used. Another subtype of sentences is the passive voice sentence, which is a sentence where the subject is not the doer of the action, but the receiver of the action. The structure of a passive voice sentence is object plus past participle form of the verb plus by plus subject. Example, the book was read by him. In this sentence, the subject he is not the one doing the action of reading, but the object book is the one being read. Another subtype is the active voice sentence, which is a sentence where the subject is the doer of the action. The structure of an active voice sentence is subject plus verb plus object. Example, he read the book. In this sentence, the subject he is the one doing the action of reading, and the object book is the one being read. It's important to use the appropriate voice in a sentence as it can change the emphasis and meaning of a sentence. In general, active voice sentences are considered more direct, clear and easier to understand than passive voice sentences. Lastly, asyndetic sentences are sentences which are joined together without any conjunction. They have a strong effect on the reader as they create a sense of urgency and immediacy. Example, I walked, I talked, I listened. These are some of the different types and subtypes of sentences that can be used in English. It's essential to understand the different types and when to use them to effectively communicate your ideas. Another subtype of sentences is the anaphoric sentence, which refers to a repetition of a word or phrase within a sentence or throughout a text. This repetition creates a sense of cohesiveness and emphasizes the importance of the word or phrase. Example, John is a good student, he always does his homework. Here, he is an anaphor, referring back to John. Another subtype is the cataphoric sentence, which refers to a word or phrase that comes later in a sentence or text. It creates a sense of anticipation and creates a link between the present and the future. Example, he is a good student, John always does his homework. Here, he is a cataphor, referring to John, which comes later in the sentence. Additionally, there are a few other types of sentences that are less common, but can be used in specific situations. Epistrophic sentences, which repeat the same word or phrase at the end of a clause or sentence. Example, I will do it, I will do it, I will do it. Anadiplosis, which repeats the last word of a previous clause or sentence. Example, I will do it, because I said I would do it. Anastrophe, which inverts the usual word order for emphasis. Example, not in 1,000 years would I do that. Antithesis, which combines two contrasting ideas in a parallel structure. Example, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. It's worth noting that these subtypes of sentences can be used in combination with the main types of sentences to add emphasis, repetition, and variety to your writing.